And members, we are all so grateful for the men and women who serve in our armed forces. I know I just visited Little Falls just this weekend to visit my in-laws, and I know Senator Gizelka has Camp Ripley, and we have members who are currently serving or have served in the past, like Senator Duckworth, Lang, Senator Newton, and my former colleague, Senator Reinert. And we know it's a sacrifice to serve our country and the families that are supportive of that too. I don't think this resolution is about supporting our law enforcement or our armed service members. It's really about making a wedge issue and dividing our country further in our state. I continue to believe that the Senate GOP majority is tone deaf at the moment that we're living in today in Minnesota. This week, we expect the Bureau of Daunte Wright, the 20-year-old who was killed by law enforcement last week. Just today, we are hearing final arguments for the trial of Derek Chauvin. It's been a tough week for all of us. Very emotional, very draining for not just members in this chamber, our staff, our family, our friends, our neighbors. Members, this resolution is not about uniting our state and supporting our troops or supporting our law enforcement or our unions and labor brothers and sisters. Just today, I drove in my district on my way here. In one of the hotels in my district in Edina, I saw countless military vehicles, too many to even track. It was dozens. And I just felt nauseous at this moment to see my district, our neighborhoods being patrolled not by our law enforcement and public safety officials, but by the military, by our National Guard. That is not something any of us knew would ever happen in our lifetime. Should the staging that's occurring in the hotel in my district be forced as a private business to not use their property or use their property? Why is the Union Hall any different? It's not. I think we're losing the focus of this conversation. And this resolution is just political spin. Continuing the rhetoric that we are at war with each other, not looking for common ground or solutions, not even talking to each other. Just the first few weeks of session, I remember introducing a resolution intended to be bipartisan, intended to come together to talk about how we denounce violence at the US Capitol on January 6th. Back then, we couldn't even come to agreement on language to condemn that, to join our troops, to condemn violence at a US Capitol, to stand for democracy. But no, we have other priorities, and this week is just a perfect time to really put the finger in the wound. Members, I implore you not to do this or not to continue to go down this path. It won't take days, it won't take weeks, it won't take months, it will take years to fix this. That is our own doing. Some of us think people don't watch and don't listen. I disagree. Senator Howell talked about how disgusting some of the rhetoric that he heard. Members, I get that every day in my inbox. So let's not act like this is an isolated issue. This is happening every day, every moment, every interaction we have with our neighbors, our friends, and our constituents. People are angry. There's high levels of anxiety. I feel it in my bones right now. And this can't go on. What really worries me is how Minnesota is continually being perceived nationally and internationally. Minnesota, Midwest values, Minnesota nice, is Minnesota unsafe. And it is that way because we are making it unsafe with our words, with our actions, and our inaction. It's unsafe for our residents. It's unsafe for our Black and brown communities. It's unsafe for our kids. It's unsafe for our businesses. And if we know that problem, why can't we fix it? This resolution doesn't fix the issue. And I think Senate Majority Gazelka, you can help change that, Mr. President. And using your own words, stop lighting the powder keg with your rhetoric and inaction. I implore you, and members, we need public safety. We don't need a war amongst each other or amongst ourselves. And as state leaders, we have the power to help prevent that. Each of us. Stop the distractions, stop the resolutions, get to work in committee. We have just about a month. And let's restore public trust in our institutions, in our Senate, which seems to be the problem, Mr. President. The Minnesota Senate. This body here is what's been watched by nationwide. What is Minnesota going to do? We're going to pass a resolution to divide public safety versus our labor brothers and sisters. Well, I refuse to participate. I refuse to start pointing or continue to point fingers at the governor, at the city council, at the mayor, at anyone but ourselves. We have the responsibility and duty to act. Otherwise, why do you have an election certificate? I came to the Senate not to warm up a seat, but to work. And my vote is my vote of protest. I will not vote for this theater, Mr. President. I urge members not to vote for this theater. As we speak, there's high school students in Minneapolis. High school students. You remember when you were a high school student, Mr. President? They're out protesting on this exact topic. Why are they doing that, you might ask? Let's go talk to them. Let's go talk to our brothers and sisters. Let's go talk to our neighbors. Let's go talk to our kids. They are not seeing leadership. Mr. President, I really urge members to watch, to step just 1 second outside of what's happening in this chamber today. I want to be helpful and supportive of my neighbors, whether they're a union card holder like some of you are in this chamber, or whether you hold arms to keep us protected. But we can't do it with words of hate, with words of divisiveness. And I just can't stand for it. I know that my vote and my previous vote might be used against me, and I don't need to defend it. I don't need to defend it because I have my voice. Mr. President and members, we have a responsibility and a duty to continue to pass meaningful legislation. Minnesotans expect that of us. We have time. Let's stop with the rhetoric. Let's stop with theater. Let's do the work that we were elected to do. I am confident we can find common ground. All of us, like Senator Franzen mentioned earlier, know of a National Guardsman, know a police officer, know a union card holder. And we all want the same thing, which is safety in our neighborhoods. And if we don't turn this ship around, I myself as a business owner in Minneapolis, it's going to hurt my business. It's going to hurt my 4- and 5-year-olds' ability to grow up in a safe community. And those high school students that are protesting peacefully today, are we going to tell them not to? Members, listen and act. I am voting no to this resolution because this falls short of the action that is demanded of us. Thank you, Mr. President.